Welcome back, everyone. How are we all? We're here in the Music City. It's Nashville, the final round of the regular season here at the Nashville Super Speedway, and it's crunch time in both the fight to become the regular season champion as well as make the championship chase. Out front, Eva Valjak stands up top with a narrow margin over Sonia Nevermind and Andrew Mondragon, while further down, Kenneth Robinson stands a precarious 40 points above his teammate in a desperately close fight to make the top 12. We've got a different kind of circuit today as well, a 1.3 mile tri-oval. It's a sort of mix between an intermediate and a short track. It handles weird, and you're going to see it today. We expect the drivers here to have to work hard for a pass, as they would at a short track. But I highly doubt it's going to be a boring race, especially if we get any cautions leading to restarts. I've seen 3-4 wide going into turn 1 immediately off the restart, so this could be a bit of a spicy race. As per usual, I am joined by Tom Salt in the commentary box. Tom, what are you expecting to see out here today?
Yeah, it should be quite an interesting race. We've got a lot of drivers in contention to potentially make the championship chase. As you said, Kenneth Robinson sat precariously on the cut line just above Marcus Monreal, but you've also got drivers like Ratko Betez, Tyler Jordan, even Austin Rhodes and Carl Sherman with outside chances of potentially making the chase. If it's a bad race for someone like, say, Johnny Carpentier-Panizzi as well, they can drop out of the chase. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those drivers at risk of potentially going out at this point in the season go about racing today. It could be very aggressive.
It definitely will be. Right, let's get on to today's grid then. On pole for the first time in his career and for the third time in 6 races for Chevrolet, Keith McHugh. It's a new feeling for him, really. We don't really see this team starting out front. I know they got pole at Daytona, but I wonder how they're going to manage this one, especially at a track where it's much easier to keep track position. Anyways, with him on pole, as we go further down alongside him, Ratko Betez is one of the drivers that needs to win today. If he wins, and if Kenneth Robinson cannot finish 9th or higher, then Ratko Betez will be making that top 12. As we move down the rest of the grid quickly, we've got Joe Dolinsky on row 2 alongside Camilla Lindberg with a really strong qualifying and rare qualifying from her. Row 3, we see Eva Valjak, our regular season leader at the moment, alongside Martin Arison, a driver who is very prone to finishing in victory lane. Row 4 sees William Starman line up alongside Andrew Mondragon, another driver in that fight to win the regular season. Row 5, winner last time out Mitch Johnson lines up alongside teammate Sonia Nevermind. Row 6, Marcus Monreal, one of those drivers who needs to do something today. He lines up alongside Javier Talavera. As we now move on to row 7, Johnny Carpentier-Panizzi lines up alongside Tyler Jordan. Panizzi is safe-ish, bar a catastrophe. Jordan needs to really win. Row 8, Kenneth Robinson lines up alongside Noah Cataneo. Of course, Robinson is that driver inside the top 12. A top 10 finish today basically guarantees him making the top, the championship chase. Row 9, we have Carl Sherman alongside Ken Hale. It's decent qualifying for Brown Racing Enterprises. As we move on to row 10, we have Kurt Weiss, once again just inside the top 20 alongside Kenny Dixon. So I'll now pass over to Tom for the rest of the order.
Yes, on 21st place is Danny McSwain, the new boy on the grid in the number 77. He lines up alongside Franco Nazario Espinozola in that number 38 Brown Racing Ford. Behind them is Austin Rhodes, a very outside chance. He pretty much needs to win today if he wants to get into the chase. Alongside him, Michael Teller. Not a very good qualifying today for Teller. 25th is Johan Stromstad in that Red Bull ANP Motorsports car. Alongside him is Megumi Arlauskiene. Then behind them is Brandon Reeves and Logan Wilkie in 27th and 28th place respectively. In the number 57 SOA Motorsports car is Mitchell Moser, and in 30th is Alec Vescovy. 31st is Carl Ellison in the 84. In 32nd is Eric Lehrman for Arcadia Kupnik Racing. Joseph Clark and Bobby Elliott Jr. bring up the rear of the field.
Still got a pretty sizable field, even with the absence of the two Dick Speed Racing cars. Of course, they did their final ever race at Daytona, and what a race it was for them. I think both cars finished inside the top 15. Really impressive. One driver I want to note before we start today, though, is Mitch Johnson. Of course, took his first win last time out narrowly at Daytona. But remember, next season he will be switching to TMS with their switch to Dodge. Is he a big loss for QWR, do we think?
I'd say so. I'd say it will be a big loss and a big gain for TMS. We're acting quick in the driver market, but we'll see what he can do next year.
We certainly will. Of course, he is in the top 6 in the standings now. He's really come alive these last few races. But enough of that chat. Let's get to the actual race here. Keith McHugh leads them to the green, and we are racing in Nashville. It's a good launch for Keith McHugh, but it's a really good launch for Joe Dolinsky behind. Is he going to try and go for a move as we come down to turn 1? No, he's happy to sit and be patient behind for now. Racco Betes, is he going to get hung out to dry up top? Just a little bit as they're going 3 wide. Racco Betes has had a nightmare start here, and he looks like he's going to get shuffled down the order. Joe Dolinsky moves through into second. Eva Valjak into third. They're 3 wide, nearly making contact as they come down into turn 3. Starman getting through, but for now it's Keith McHugh leading pretty comfortably. A bit of contact between Monreal and Andrew Mondragon. Hectic start. Ooh! Nearly, I think Johan Stromstad that was in the background. Sideways coming out of turn 4. Surprisingly, he is okay. We go back up to the front of the field though. For now, Keith McHugh has done what he's needed to do. Perfect start for the 81.
Yeah, great start from Keith McHugh. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Got him straight out in front, but Racco Betes has been shuffled back. He's now stuck behind Joe Dolinsky. He's got no real way through as well. Now he slots in behind Starman, who seems to have a good amount of pace. Joe Dolinsky starting to fade back a little bit. He's been shuffled up high, and now Betes will look to get back past the number 12 car. But Eva Valjak absolutely flying away. You said currently the leader of the regular season standings, and she's looking to put the 81 back in his place, back in his box.
Yep, as we have a look now, Mitch Johnson, who we were talking about pre-race, now moving himself into the top 5 ahead of Joe Dolinsky. Dolinsky, brilliant start. The issue you can face at this track is if you get stuck on that high line in these early phases, you can just be shuffled backwards and backwards. And that is just what has happened to Dolinsky right now. As you see a bit further back, Kenneth Robinson has actually made a pretty good start, it looks like. And I think he's just on the cusp of the top 10. We'll see across the line here, Kenneth Robinson is in fact into the top 10. So as of right now, Robinson will be making the championship chase. But up front, look at this. Starman's reeling in Valjak, who's reeling in McHugh. We've got a three-way fight for the lead right now.
Yeah, exactly. Don't discount Racco Betes as well, waiting in the wings at the moment. As we see Dolinsky still getting shuffled back, and here comes Valjak up the inside. Has forced Keith McHugh up high, and Valjak making a bid for the lead now. As we come back down the front stretch, McHugh holds the lead just for the moment, but Valjak has that advantageous inside line.
And here comes Starman.
Keith McHugh dropping back.
Nearly
Starman nearly
contact.
got into the back of the 81 there. So much overspeed for the 24. But now Keith McHugh needs to try and avoid going backwards. Starman makes the move and should have second place now.
McHugh needs to make sure he can cover the inside now, just to make sure that Racco Betes can't take advantage of his little slow run here, which I think he's managed to do, and he will safely slot into third place as long as he doesn't get too high. Up front though, Eva Valjak looks like she's got pace, running a slightly higher line than Starman through turn 1 and 2 there. We'll see how she fares out as the race continues, moving down the rest of the order. Monreal running pretty well, of course not enough for what he needs. Johnny Carpentier-Panizzi doing what he needs, just taking a comfortable 9th place at the moment. He's just got to pretty much get this thing to the checkered flag inside the top 20, I believe. I think he needs to finish higher than 23rd, and then he's locked in. We've got some more moves here.
Yeah, indeed. Andrew Mondragon. He's not afraid of making moves. He's always one to come up through the order when you least expect him to, but this move here on Mitch Johnson looking to be sealed as we come on out of turn 4 and down the the front stretch. Mitch Johnson doesn't look like he's able to really fight this one. Shuffled up onto the high side, and he will concede. Mondragon now up into 5th place, looking to hunt down this leading pack as Ratko Betez eyes up Keith McHugh, and William Starman eyes up Eva Valjak for the lead.
Here we go, Starman trying to get to the inside of Valjak, but can't quite. The car is just slightly too tight, and I think that's a little bit of a let-off there for Eva Valjak. She was under real threat of losing the lead, but a little error, I think, from Starman, and she's a bit more comfortable out front. Further back, though, I see some action with our cutline man at the moment, getting under a lot of pressure. Sonia, never mind. Actually, haven't mentioned, looks like Monreal's lost 2 positions, so Robinson actually making a move on Monreal, and I think shuffles his teammate back another position. It was Camilla Lindberg as well, just got to mention, started 4th in this one, and she is well outside of the top 10 now. But Monreal looks like he's about to go backwards again, so not what that number 15 car needs in a race where he pretty much needs to win.
Yeah, exactly. Monreal struggling a little bit. Martin Arison shuffling him back. Tyler Jordan's one of the hopefuls if something goes wrong for Kenneth Robinson, Marcus Monreal, etc. He's fighting with Danny McSwain at the moment.
Fighting for 19th place. It's looking unlikely for Jordan to get anything from this one. There's a bit of contact between Talavera and Monreal there. Monreal's really desperate to just get down to that inside line. We have looked away from the lead for a few laps. Quickly make sure nothing has happened out front. Of course, nothing has happened, thankfully. As we head back down the order then. So Monreal did just manage to slot in now. He is now very much safe from any pressure from Lindberg for the moment. I do think Monreal will have a bit of pace to fight back here, but we'll have to see. See some cars like Arison really out of position in this one. He's not in the top 10, sat in 11th at the moment. I think he'll have some late race pace to charge down. Starman looks like he might be quicker than Valjak. He just can't get into a position to make a move. He keeps looking at the inside through turn 3 and 4, but he's just not quite there yet. I don't think it's long before we see an attempt though. Of course, this is a long race, 93 laps, 125 miles. I think we're expecting this race to be around 50 to 55 minutes, depending on if we get a caution. I think where we are right now, we might be clear for this race to go green to the end. Of course, there is the possibility of having stuff like engine failures and whatnot. As actually, on the subject of that, Carl Sherman is a lap down. Let's quickly see what's happened. Oh, he had a flat tyre. So not a good day for Brown Racing.
Not ideal at all. But Carl Sherman dropped all the way to the back. But you say about William Starman just trying to get to Eva Valjak. We said earlier about the drivers getting forced up high, and it's just Starman keeps trying, but Valjak is just not conceding that line. Starman looks to the inside, and Valjak just holds the inside, holds that low line. She is not going to let Starman get through unless it's very clear cut. So she knows how to lead. She's led many a race this season, and she's obviously won 3 times as well. She's had a fantastic season, but Starman looking for that win for Sage Motorsports and Chevrolet. He'll be hungry as ever to try and get this going into the chase.
Stop you there quickly. A really important and surprising thing is Chevrolet have not even had a car finish runner-up this season yet. You think they would have. Of course, there was the Talladega. Marcus Monreal was leading starting the final lap, but the nature of that track, he ended up 5th across the line. Of course, Road America, Kenneth Robinson probably should have won that if he didn't put it in the pit wall. Also thinking TMS have had a couple of close calls. I think they were leading with 2 laps to go at the last race in Daytona as well, led the most laps. Kenneth Robinson led the most laps at the Daytona 250. You really would have thought Chevrolet would have had a win by now with how they've been. But similarly to Ford, they just can't seem to get it over the line. Of course, Ford, I think, have had about 4 or 5 runners-up this season so far. I think Betez alone has had 2 runners-up finishes.
Yeah, exactly. It's been difficult years for them too in terms of the winning, but I mean, Dodge and Toyota and QWR and Venturia have been doing so much of the winning this season. It's been hard to slot anyone else in, really. The lion's share has gone to those two teams. In fact, I think all of the wins have gone to those two teams.
Yes,
So
every race so far has been won by QWR or Venturia. That's not to say they haven't been very close to not winning a lot of these races. I think Ratko Betez is probably the... I think with a couple of those wins, his entire season changes completely. He has had absolutely rotten luck this season. I think it was Bristol. He was leading by about 5 seconds before the caution came out. And that ended up him losing out to Joe Dolinsky, which has been Dolinsky's only win. He's been surprisingly poor by his standards this season. As out front, the top two definitely look a little bit quicker than Keith McHugh behind. He occasionally closes up, but I think it's more when one of them makes an error and sort of allows him to get up closer. To go through the back of the field. Of course, Ken Hale a lap down. Eric Lehrman trundling by himself. Johan Stromstad, not exactly what the team want from him today. His teammate Austin Rhodes, quite a few positions ahead of him. Like, is he in the top 20? Not quite, 22nd. At the moment, we're in quite a peaceful part of the race. There's Michael Teller, actually a driver we mentioned earlier about his poor qualifying, making some moves now, but this is only for 18th place. So it's definitely a weekend to forget for Teller, this one. As he looks to finalise this move. She does. Jordan also coming through. Actually, my bad. Didn't realise that was Jordan as well taking advantage of it. Camilla Lindberg still looks to be slipping further and further back. That 36 looks like it wants to have a go. She'll come into turn 3. Can't get to the inside line. And back up front, no. This is looking like a pretty peaceful race up front. I think Valjak might be one of the fastest cars, which is making it hard for anyone else really to mount some kind of challenge. We might be having to wait until the stops for much more action. I know the pit, we're expecting pit window wise to see, I think that stops around lap 63. Give or take a few laps. 60 to 63, we've got some action further back. Teller continuing to make moves. He's the only one doing anything at the moment, and he is making a right charge now after a pretty slow start. I believe that will put him now into 17th. And now he's got the two cars ahead who are having a little fight themselves. Front Sonia Nevermind, actually forgot to mention, Sonia Nevermind got Kenneth Robinson. We obviously missed that at some point. So she's making a little bit of a charge up the field. Every time I see that yellow light pole, I keep thinking it's a caution when it's not. It's just the colour of the light.
It's always hard when you're having to watch the lights around the track to see when the caution comes out.
Should invest in some new graphics that actually tell us when a caution comes out.
Exactly.
Oh, actually got some action now up front. As it looks like Carl Sherman wants to make the move. Teller couldn't get it and had to go to the high side because of Sherman trying to make the move on Lindberg. And now it looks like Teller's under a bit of threat from Kurt Weiss. Weiss going to have to wait. Of course, Teller is definitely a faster car than these guys. Just a really poor qualifying by his standards. As we were talking about Mitch Johnson earlier, as Sherman tries to get to the inside and fails miserably. That is a lot of pace from the high side from Camilla Lindberg. I think that's the first time we've seen that from anybody today. Sherman really wants to fight back at that. He really wants that place, but he's just really struggling to get to Lindberg's inside. Good defensive work. As Nevermind looks even closer to Johnny Carpentier Panizzi. Nearly to the inside there. In fact, I think we might be seeing a move down into turn 1 here. Sonia Nevermind right on Panizzi's bumper. Is she going to have a look to the inside for turn 1? No, she doesn't. And in fact, loses out after Panizzi lifts off and catching her by surprise. That was a surprising decision from Sonia Nevermind. I thought she had the move done there. As we go up front, sorry, William Starman has taken the lead. I've completely missed that. So William Starman leads at Nashville, and through comes Keith McHugh here, I think, as well. Down to the inside. McHugh, is he going to get it done? Chevrolet will be rubbing their hands together if he can. I don't think... He can't! Eva Valjak has the pace and manages to hold on. So Valjak keeps second for the moment.
Yeah, great stuff from William Starman. Looked like he managed to finally force Valjak to get up the track. It's been so many laps of Valjak leading. Thought we were almost never going to see it, but no, Valjak shuffled back, and that's great from Starman. Keith McHugh obviously unable to capitalise there, but yeah, now Starman holds the advantage. Advantage Chevrolet, advantage Sage in this 125-mile race. As here comes Andrew Mondragon up the inside on Ratko Betez for 4th place now.
It's Chevrolet versus Dodge for this one, I think, at the moment. Although we have got Ken Hale not too far up the road at the moment. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see them catch up to him pretty soon. Already a lap down, of course. His weekend is basically ruined by a flat tyre. So unfortunately we do not have the wave by just yet. But I think from next season the plan is to start establishing a wave by Lucky Dog for the first lapped car. We'll see how it goes. But interesting to see how that works. Because we've had a few times this season, I think, where drivers have been quite unlucky with a tyre failure or something else that puts them a lap down. And then a caution comes out. And even if they might have the chance to unlap themselves, with how the cautions work on this, you get sent to the back of the queue if you're lapped. So it kind of just completely screws you over in any hope you have of unlapping yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I do quite like the idea of the lucky dog. Makes it so that some of the teams that maybe do go a lap down do have something to fight for still. They're not just trundling around in last place for the sake of it. But yeah, it will be interesting to see how this shapes up the order if they catch him, as Andrew Mondragon. Well, Betez couldn't put anything on Keith McHugh, even though he looked clearly quicker. Mondragon looks absolutely rapid behind the back of that Chevrolet. Looks to the inside, maybe into turn number 1.
He has a look, tries, and I think nearly makes contact with the 81. Mondragon is putting on a bit of a show out there today. He's got pace. So have a quick check. That 26 is up into 15th now. So Michael Teller is making moves out there. And once he clears Noah Catanea, he's going to have quite a bit of clean airs. We've got some more action between these two. These are just inseparable, Sherman and Lindbergh. Has Sherman finally got the move done now? I think he has. I don't know how many laps that took him. But he's finally got that done, as Vescovy is making up for a poor qualifying, trying to make some moves. I do think Vescovy is a very unlucky driver this season. I think he should have been in the chase contention. So we've got some moves here. Andrew Mondragon going to put himself up into 3rd. That number 4 is flying. Absolutely flying.
Yeah, exactly. Mondragon is absolutely rapid. He should be clear of Keith McHugh. Not quite on the exit. McHugh's going to get a bit closer as we go down the straight, but through 3 and 4. It's up on that high side. He's just got no chance against Mondragon. He's actually got a fair bit of pace, but no, unable to hold on. And now he gets under pressure from Ratko Betez, who now comes at him down the front stretch. But Mondragon, we've seen him come back from further back to win races. Started 8th today, now up into 3rd on that 37. Still the pit stops to go. This could be very interesting.
Well, of course, we all remember his first race, the Daytona 250. Flat tyre, comes into pit, wreck happens, manages to win the race. He was dead last. He started last in that race as well. He's a very resilient driver. And of course, at one point this season, it looked like he could win nearly every race.
He did indeed. He was a force to be reckoned with in the early stages of the season. 3 wins from the first 4. Wheels have slightly come off it in the last couple. Bad luck, incidents. But he's still the same driver with the same cutthroat mentality. He wants to win, and he looks feisty today. He looks very quick as he starts to bear down on Eva Valjak and William Starman out front.
He's a bit of a closer. He knows how to finish a race. I think that's his best attribute. He may not be the fastest throughout the entire thing. You don't see him lead most laps most of the time. but he just gets into the lead when it matters.
He's always there. He's always in and around. You always see him. Oh, Andrew Mondragon, he's up there. But you, as you say, you don't really see him lead the laps, but he is always there to pick up the pieces. He's always there to get to the front right at the very end. And I think that's what makes him such an excellent driver. That's what makes him such a threat in these races.
He has the fastest lap of the race right now. I would actually like to point out Michael Teller is 6th fastest on the fastest laps. And he has caught Noah Cataneo now. Only issue for him is he now has 3 seconds to catch up to Marcus Monreal.
Move here for 2nd place. Here comes Andrew Mondragon through on Eva Valjak, the 2 teammates, duking it out for 2nd and 3rd place.
Of course, this is a fight for the regular season championship as well. Of course, Mondragon needs Valjak to fall quite a bit for it, which I don't think she plans to do, as she's got a brilliant run on that high side. They're still side by side. Valjak knows how to use that high side here today. But I think this might be it for Mondragon, surely. No, Voljak's still fighting up high. Mondragon gets a good run there, and that's the move finally done, is it? Yes, just about.
Yes, looks like it.
All of that is going to be delightful for Starman, who has now got an 8/10 or 7/8 tenth gap to 2nd place. Well, of course, he has got a lapped car. And he may lose that down pit road. Of course, Sage have not been the greatest team down pit road this season. And funnily enough, the team that probably has been the best down pit road is Venturia. So,
exactly. It all comes down to green flag stops, which I reckon we will get. I was just trying to see. I think I just got caught out by the same thing as you as well. That yellow post. I thought it was caution for a second, but. Yeah, Starman's gap already starting to come down. He'd love to keep that gap just for a bit longer until he could clear that lapped car. Just gives him a bit of time to sum up his options and try and get clear. So we watch Vescovy and Tyler Jordan battle over the ranges of the top 20, I believe.
And those Venturias, I think it's the only cars I've seen, aside from maybe when we saw Limburg do it, they don't look too bad on the high side at points.
Exactly. They're very good. Using these different lines, it seems like they're definitely their strong suit. Eva Valjak especially was fighting with Andrew.
Tell you what, she was getting pretty close to Mondragon there. I don't think she's going to let that number 4 get away, at least as easily as he would like. Here's the big part for Starman though. How can he navigate getting past Ken Hale? Because that's not the slowest lapped car.
No, exactly. If you were thinking maybe it's one of the Arcadia Cup Net cars of Eric Lerman or Taito Salmonen in the races he does, then maybe you'd be thinking it would be like easy as taking candy from a baby. But it is one of the Brown Racing Enterprises cars. It's not quick at the moment, but it's not a slow car. It really isn't an inherently slow car, so this could pose a few problems for the leaders at this stage of the race.
See where Eric Lehrman is now. So if we have a look, Lehrman entering turn 3 there. They're definitely going to catch Lehrman by the end of the race. Don't know about the likes of Johan Stromstad, but this group's not fast here either. See how far back they are. They are 17 seconds. Actually, they probably will. We're looking at 30-second laps. Yeah, they'll definitely. I think they'll catch those other cars by the end of the race as well, especially if any of them have bad stops.
There's another factor to factor in for the end of the race. You've got green flag stops, and now you've got lapped cars as well, just to chuck into the mix. So it could make for a very tasty end to this 150.
Yeah, let's see how Starman is for defending, because we haven't actually had to see him do any defending today so far. He's only been on the offensive, and while that has worked out very well for him, he's got a car, I'd say, quite a bit quicker than everyone else at the moment, trying to hunt him down.
Exactly. Mondragon is flying. He's really quick. I was thinking Eva Valjak really didn't want to lose Mondragon there, but she has dropped well off now. Maybe starts to gain back a little bit. Maybe just saving tyres, saving fuel a little bit to go for a push near the end of this stint. So we are approaching that pit window that you said about in about 14 or 15 laps. As his Sonia, never mind, and Johnny Carpentier Panizzi getting quite close. in the lower reaches of the top 10, but William Starman starting to catch Ken Hale, and his heart will sink as he sees that lap car get closer and closer.
It might
And that
sink,
number 4
but
right behind him as well.
this could work out in his favour if he can position himself to almost put Mondragon behind Ken Hale. We've seen it, especially on the super speedways, we've seen it, where the leaders sometimes try and just force the other car to just take a slightly different line, and it really cost them. But I don't think Starman's going to be hitting Kale in a spot he wanted to here.
Oh no. He's right up behind him out of 4. I don't think he's going to be close enough into turn 1 either. So this really isn't ideal for William Starman. Mondragon did lose a little bit of time on that lap, but Starman just still cannot pass this lap car. Up high goes Hale, but Starman isn't past him, and so this could really prove difficult for the 24.
And we've got about 10 laps until green flag stops, roughly, I think, as well. This is about to get pretty nerve-wracking for all those cars out front, I think. Quickly look away for a moment. I think Sonia Nevermind's going to get Panizzi here. They've got too much to look at the moment.
Yeah, lots going on up and down the field. Mondragon really isn't sticking.
This could be the moment. This could be the moment he needs. Yes.
Oh yeah, here he goes.
Can he try and use Ken Hale to slow up Andrew Mondragon once he gets through here?
Oh, he's got a great exit compared to that 37. He should have him on the run into 1. Not quite going to shut the door on him yet, but yeah, he has him.
And
so
he's got a car. Yes,
and
he has.
That is fantastic from William Starman. Perfectly executed for the Sage Motorsports, man.
Beautiful work from Starman. We haven't got to see him lead much this season. Aside from the super speedway races, he has finished in the top 10 every single race this season. He's been so consistent. It's been a really underrated season. Could this finally be a day where he gets a chance? There was a bit of a mistake from Mondragon there, and he's letting Ken Hale almost fight back.
Said before, that's not exactly a slow lapped car, and Ken Hale's proven it. He really wants to race with these guys, but now he's shuffled up, and Mondragon is through, and Eva Valjak, I think, will follow in her teammates' footsteps. Now they're catching Eric Lerman, as I said before, that is a slower lapped car, but still could prove to be fairly difficult for these front runners. It's never easy to navigate lapped cars.
It's all timing with the lapped cars. If you hit the mid corner, you can lose so much time. I think Mondragon got quite lucky with where Starman actually got to pass him. I think if Starman got a better run and actually had cleared Ken Hale before the corner, it's only Ken Hale's coming down in front of Mondragon, but he was brave, stuck his nose in, kept that lapped car up high, and he got himself through quite comfortably. Let's see how Eric Lerman goes. They will probably hit Eric Lerman before they come in for their stops, and that could be very crucial. Very, very crucial. Could it allow Mondragon to get ahead or closer? Could it give Starman a bit of a gap in case Sage make one of their almost like routine mess-ups at their stops? We'll see. But they are definitely going to hit Lerman within the next couple laps, I think. Let's see what sort of laps he's been setting. His fastest lap is a 29.3. And a 28.9 is Mondragon's fastest. In fact, both him and Starman. Actually, let's just have a look. So 29.8, 33. This could be the moment. Maybe not this corner, but maybe next time by. Lerman comes down a bit.
For certain.
Oh
yeah, he's gotten up to alongside him, and so he should have him into the next corner. That's nicely executed once again from William Starman, but Mondragon might just follow him through. Don't think he's going to be able to put this lapped car between himself and Mondragon. Nope. Lerman cleared by the number 4. So Starman clears him cleanly, but Mondragon is still right on his tail.
I think Starman would have liked a bit more than 1/10 gained from that.
Exactly.
Here we go though, lap 59. Pit window open from lap 60. we'll start to see cars coming down pit road pretty soon, I think. As Ken Hale is going to actually unlap himself on someone.
Well, could use this as an opportunity to start slipping up the field just ever so steadily.
Never mind,
Sonia
charge
Nevermind.
continuing here. It's going to move
Mitch
her up into
Johnson's fallen
7th.
back. Mitch Johnson's fallen a couple of places now, as has Carpentier Panizzi, I believe, as well. Johnson was up in 6th behind Keith McHugh.
Here we go. Bette's in. Oh,
go.
the top. Every single one of the top cars is coming in this lap. Is anyone staying out? No!
I believe so.
Everyone is coming in this time by. Well, this is going to be crucial then. Let's see.
It's going to be busy.
Where are their pit boxes? They're literally next to each other. Of course, best spot on pit road is for Keith McHugh. They're going to take 4 tyres, 2 tyres, 4 tyres. They're very even at the moment. Camilla Lindberg, is she going to get in the way? No. I think Mega Mialis again came down last time by. It's good stops from both of them. Eva Valjak, good stop as well. Ratko Betez, good work from him. Joe Dolinsky, almost think... Oh, it's a bad one for our pole
Keith McHugh
sitter.
is slow. Yeah, Keith McHugh is slow. He's dropped a huge amount of places on pit road. Great stuff from Joe Dolinsky and also Sonia Nevermind as well. Noah Cataneo getting quite far up the order, but Keith
There may
McHugh,
be an issue. There may have been an issue.
Just gone.
I think there may have been an issue. We will quickly check to see if we can see anything. Nothing to confirm. So just a really unlucky moment for them. A disastrous stop. Oh, Mondragon's got... Oh, no, sorry. Oh, I thought Mondragon had got Starman for a moment. I think that's...
No, it all settles down now. The gaps are a little bit bigger. Valjak will be not very happy to see Eric Lerman coming out in front of her, but she should have the pace to clear that.
Brilliant stops. Brilliant stops for the 24 and the 4. They have put such a gap on everyone else from pit road. Brilliant work from both of their pit crews in such a crucial moment. And they're definitely going to hit more lap cars before the end of this thing. Definitely at least these two. Stromstad having a really poor race. At least he's not crashed into anyone.
Yeah, true. Well, it's definitely the pit stops have shuffled the order, but I can see someone in 9th place now. Michael Teller started outside the top 20. He's benefited hugely in this pit window. Now finds himself up in 9th place and the potential to move up in this top 10 as well. So fantastic opportunity from QWR to get their man up the order.
One driver I do want to note, Kenneth Robinson. We haven't spoke much about him today, but he's in 8th. Even if Ratko Betez could somehow charge to 1st, as of right now, Robinson is doing everything he needs to, completely. Even if Betez won, he would still be in the top 12 at the moment. So it's been a much needed race under pressure for him, especially after what we saw happen at Road America. He should already be locked into that top 12.
Oh, exactly. It's been a quiet race, but it's been a good race for Kenneth Robinson, and I think that's what he needs. He doesn't need any more of the pressure shining down on him. He's had a very quiet but very, very solid race today. He's been matching pace, and I think with that kind of pace, he deserves to be in the chase.
Oh, definitely. I just think it's going to be heartbreaking for the likes of Ratko Betez, who realistically this season, you almost think he could have been a title contender if he had luck. But here it is, as of right now, unless something happens to Robinson quite severely, Ratko Betez will not be making the championship chase, and that's going to be heartbreak. The fact his teammate will make it, and you're gonna, I wouldn't even say you can argue, it's pretty clear he's not had as good a season as Ratko Betez.
No, exactly. It's just been a case of Betez's poor luck. You know, 5 finishes outside of the top 20, whereas Carpentier Panizzi has had 2. There's been a few DNFs in there as well for Betez as well. It's been rotten luck for the 22 team, 21 team have managed to stay mostly out of trouble, and they've been rewarded for that. But really, you do feel like the 22 is definitely the quicker package, the quicker car, and the quicker driver in the hands of Ratko Betez as well.
Well, if one of them could go for a title charge, I think we know which one it would be.
Exactly.
Of course, I can't remember whether it was confirmed now, but Ratko Betez is basically heading to Venturia for next season. That's...
Exactly.
Backrow Racing are not in a good spot at the moment. They got to try and scout for drivers. I don't know who would be willing to make the plunge. Of course, they lost probably the most promising Ford prospect of Austin Rhodes already to Sage Motorsport.
Exactly. So it's a case of whether they want to try and go for experience. Potentially Kurt Weiss could be a shout, but there's, they could also go for someone slightly younger, slightly more unproven. Obviously, with the establishment of trucks next season, they'll be able to find people in that kind of talent pool, but they need drivers for next season, not the season after, when the trucks drivers will really enter the market. So, we'll have to see what they can do, but I think we should focus on the lead here, because William Startman is getting closed in on by Andrew Mondragon quite substantially.
I think Starman would like to see those lapped cars a bit closer than they are at the moment, and almost use them to his advantage to just prevent Mondragon from making a move. But for now, he does not have that. He's got to keep pushing, give it everything he has if he wants to keep Mondragon behind. Of course, Mondragon doing all he can to win the regular season, get those extra bonus points in the standings. But it's not going to be enough, I don't think, unless something happens to Eva Valjak. Even Sonia Nevermind, I think where she is, she might actually still be just ahead of Mondragon. Be very close. There's only 20 points between them. Actually, I think if Mondragon can lead a lap, that would definitely put him above Sonia Nevermind. I can't remember the exact points. 175, 170, 165, 160, 155, 150. So 150 to 170. So literally they would be equal on points at the moment.
Exactly.
And of course, Mondragon would win on countback there.
I don't think Mondragon has led a lap yet, so...
Oh, has Nevermind lost a position?
I think she has. I think Carpentier Panizzi might have jumped in front of her.
Maybe I'm
not
hallucinating. Sure, I don't know. Right, as of right now, Mondragon would be ahead by 4 points, I think.
Okay.
Of course, that doesn't matter to either of them, because at the moment Eva Valjak is winning the regular season championship, and you don't get anything extra for finishing second or third.
Yeah, bragging rights, I guess, in the regular season, but all those bragging rights kind of go out the window once you get into the chase. That's the real nitty-gritty of the season. That's where, see the real champion is crowned over the course of those 6 races, and it'll properly, as you said before, it's crunch time in this race. It'll be crunch time for every race from here on out as well.
Oh, I do think it's going to be exciting, especially with Talladega as one of those races. That could be a title deciding one. You go into the other Talladega races and everyone drives like crazy because it's their best chance to get a win there in Daytona. But they're going to be going into this one. If you're in that top 12, a win would be beautiful. But if you crash out, that spells an end to basically any hope of the championship.
Oh, exactly. It's such a risk with it being the penultimate round of the season before we then go to Homestead to crown our champion. But also throwing it in there as well, there's such a variety of tracks in the chase as well. Obviously, you've got Dega, you've got Homestead to close it out. You've got a short track in Martinsville. You've got a road course in Watkins Glen as well, only the second road course race of this season. So we don't really know. We obviously saw some pace from certain drivers in Road America, but the Glen is a very different track. Road courses are very different challenges, so it could be very interesting with that being thrown into the mix in the championship chase.
This is going to be Mondragon's best chance, I think, here. He's very close. Is Starman going to cover him off? Yes, he is just about, I think. Mondragon trying to get to that inside, but he's too tight. And I think Starman's weathered it for the moment, but Mondragon is not giving up. He's going to go for it, I think. Let's have a look through turn 3. Is Starman going to drift up high to get that better exit? Yes, he is. Mondragon gets a bit too close, but then Starman lifts off. It's very close out front, and the lapped cars are just there. Starman is racing to catch those lapped cars.
Yeah, easy. He knows that is his best shot to defend from Mondragon. He's already used them once. He can use them again. You can just see them in the top of the helicam as well. But Mondragon is putting Starman under huge amounts of pressure in the closing stages of this race. Just under 15 laps to go as Mondragon he's just quicker. He's so much quicker.
He made a bit of an error there. He made a little bit of an error there, and I think that's going to give about a corner's worth of breathing room to Starman. If you look behind, it's very close for third, but we can't look away from this one at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Battles going on. They've all started to close up after spreading out in the pit stops. But yeah, as you say, so much action. And now we can start to see those lapped cars closing in. Carl Ellison, I think, is the first car that they will hit. So this will be interesting as we close in on the end of this 93 lap race here in Nashville.
After 80 laps, only a tenth separates the top two, as they're both super high off the corner, and that's a huge chance for Mondragon. Starman, big error, but Mondragon also made the error. Is Mondragon going to go for it now? Yes, he is. Huge error from the two of them, but I think Mondragon's the one that's going to come out better. They're very close, evenly matched off the corner. That high side can't really fight much here. Mondragon diving low, trying to keep that inside line. As we head towards turn 1, they're both struggling, both pushing hard. And I think Mondragon might have got it. Yes, he has. Smart playing, forcing Starman into a mistake. And Andrew Mondragon is on course to take his 4th victory of the season.
Oh, fantastic stuff from Mondragon. You could tell he was just biding his time. He was a quicker car. He just had to bide his time and, yeah, force Starman into a mistake. Obviously got those lapped cars coming up with 10 to go. They can really throw a spanner into the works. But yeah, Mondragon, fantastic move. Reaps the benefits. He's now the leader. He will be the first to hit those lapped cars, and he can do whatever he pleases in trying to get past them.
Yeah, it's all about being patient now for Mondragon. He knows he has the pace. Even if Starman gets ahead, you know Starman's not going to pull away. He is hanging on a bit, though, at the moment. I thought we were going to see Mondragon start to rocket away a little, but I don't think that's the case.
Well, you can never discount the pace of William Starman in these races. He has been fantastic today. Led by far and away the most laps throughout the course of this race, and he has been fantastic, sticking to the back of that 4. And he wants to be as close as he possibly can as they hit those lapped cars to capitalise on any mistakes that Mondragon may make, any hesitations or anything.
We've got a lapped car battle up front. That's the last thing they want to see. Because there's
a car coming out of the pit
Kurt
road
Weiss.
as well.
I think he may have had an issue. No, that is his scheduled pit stop, I think. Well, oh, no, sorry. He does have an issue. He had a coolant leak.
Oh dear.
Well, he slots in behind to watch this all unfold. Let's hope he's not faster than the leaders, because that might throw a real spanner in the works.
Well, he probably has fresh rubber, so this could be quite interesting for Kurt Weiss. As here comes Mondragon, eyeing up Ellison.
Oh, it's a bit of a mistake.
He turns him. He nearly gets into the back of him. That is so aggressive from Mondragon. He was so hesitant on the entry to the corner, then committed, and Ellison was already in the process of coming down. He doesn't pay the price for that one, but Starman will be watching, and he does get to the inside on that.
This is a bit high for Mondragon as well. Is he struggling in the dirty air here?
Could be.
He's making errors now. Now that the pressure is on him, Starman putting real pressure on that number 4, and we've only got a few laps to go now. Here we go, lap 88 of 93. Mondragon eyes up to get past Bobby Elliott. He's got 2 cars fighting in front of him. Johan Stromstad has had some late race pace. It's William Starman. Is he going to get Bobby Elliott here? I think he might. Yes, he's going to go for it.
Yep.
Starman's going to get Elliot. Or not. He has to back out a little bit to
Yeah,
avoid
he'll have
hitting
him.
the number 1.
I think he'll have him on traction. He gets him on the exit, so he is still behind that number 4. A couple more cars to go, and this could very well go down to the wire between these two.
It very well could. Mondragon has been flawless pace-wise today. But as the pressure mounts, he seems to be struggling a bit, which is uncharacteristic of him. He's so good at closing out these races, but he's not enjoying the dirty air behind these slower cars at the moment. Is he going to go to try and pass Aula Skene into turn 1? Let's have a look. He wants to, but Aula Skene is just too fast, but he has to back out a little bit. Puts himself under pressure, runs up high. Mondragon's...
Starman's got a good run.
Starman is closing. And look at that, the lapped cars are fighting in front of them. Starman sees a gap on the inside, he wants to go for it. Mondragon smart though, tries to dive to the inside, which he does. And I think he's going to get a chance to dive on Aula Skene here.
Oh, fantastic stuff from Mondragon, just negotiating these cars, but Starman is still so close. I don't think we'll get any more lapped cars, so it is a straight fight between these two once Starman clears Aula Skene.
Yeah.
This is a straight fight, and they have never been closer.
Starman has 3 laps to do something. Up to the line now. He only has 2 laps to do something. Can Mondragon hold on to take his 4th win, or will Starman take his 1st? Out of turn 2 we come. It's not a good run for Mondragon. Starman is right there.
Sits back. Oh, he looks to the inside.
Starman has a look. He can't do it.
No, not yet.
Can Mondragon hold on? He's got a good exit. As we run across the line, what is the gap between them? It's a 1/10 of a second. Into turn 1 we come. Starman has a look. Mondragon covers the inside. Mondragon runs up high again. Starman's got to the inside. Starman side by side with Andrew Mondragon. Down the back straightaway. Into turn 3 we come. Starman sends it deep. Mondragon fights on the high side. They're side by side. Starman's cleared him. William Starman out of the final corner is an ANMRA Premier Series winner. What a finish. I'm lost for words.
Oh my goodness. What a finish. Finish of the season, I have to say. I don't care what other races there were. William Starman and Andrew Mondragon, that battle takes the cake. Fantastic stuff. And William Starman, the deserved winner today. Finally sealed it on the final corner of the final lap. Fantastic stuff. Well-deserved win today for the 2014.
What a race. We were talking about this one potentially being a bit more of a relaxed one at the early stages of it. Even before the race, saying it'd be hard to pass. It was hard to pass, but what a battle for the leads we just saw. Absolutely incredible. Hats off to both drivers. That was brilliant racing. Incredible. Wow. And that is the first top 2 finish for Chevrolet, and it's their first victory in the ANMRA Premier Series. A first victory for Starman, a first victory for Sage Motorsports. Incredible scenes and moments for the team. They are absolutely loving it. Andrew Mondragon will have to settle for 2nd place, which is going to feel absolutely heartbreaking after that race that we just saw. But wow, I can't believe that finish.
Neither can I. Still catching my breath a little bit. That was incredible. I'm just looking down the rest of the order. It has shaped up quite interestingly as well. Bethes gets up into 3rd, but I don't think it's enough on points to actually get into the championship chase, because we're down in 9th place. That number 42 of Kenneth Robinson, I think, has done enough.
Yes, I believe that is it. It was a 41-point difference. I believe 9th is enough for Kenneth Robinson. So Kenneth Robinson will be making the championship chase. So lots of celebrations down at Sage Motorsport at the moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Incredible race. Absolutely fantastic. And, well, yeah, either which way, whoever would have won that race would have been a deserved winner, whether it was Mondragon or Starman. And, well, we were treated to a fantastic finish.
Let's just go through the order quickly. As we said, William Starman taking his, Chevrolet's and Sage Motorsports' first ever victories in the Premier Series. Andrew Mondragon comes home in second place. I believe that is his first ever runners-up finish, which is quite funny. But either way, Andrew Mondragon second, Racco Bettes third. He gave it everything he could. Those top two, though, I think were just on another level today. Another day, Racco Bettes, I think, narrowly misses out because of Robinson's finish, but he gave it everything. A brilliant drive from the 22. Joe Dolinsky comes home in fourth to take a much-needed top 5 for him with a bit of an inconsistent season. That means in the last 4 races, last 5 races, he has had 4 top 5s. So nice second half of the regular season for him. Eva Valjak, who looked like she was set for second place, comes home in 5th. We missed all of that looking at this fight for the lead. No surprise, what a fight it was. 6th place, Johnny Carpentier Panizzi, another strong race from him. He's seeming to have a pretty decent season, and that's back-to-back top 10s for the first time this season for Panizzi, so he'll be very happy with that. Teller, 7th, what a recovery from his awful qualifying. Brilliant drive from him. Sonia Nevermind will come home in 8th place. She will finish, I believe, 3rd in the regular season standings. Kenneth Robinson, 9th place. It's all he needed. He will be in the championship chase. Narrowly, but he's managed it. I'm sure he was sweating that race. Noah Cataneo makes it 3 top 10s in a row. If only his first half of the regular season wasn't so unlucky with so many mechanical issues and incidents that just weren't his fault. Mitch Johnson comes home 11th. Marcus Monreal will come home 12th. He will narrowly miss out on making the championship chase. And it puts him under a bit of pressure now because Sage Motorsports still evaluating whether they will be expanding to 4 cars or sticking with 3. Could Monreal be heading to somewhere like SOA Motorsports, who are set to become a Sage Motorsports partner next season? That could be interesting. Martin Arison 13th, Javier Talavera 14th, Carl Sherman 15th. He eventually seems to be the one that won in the Sherman-Limburg battle. Espinazola 16th. Vescovy, good recovery. He comes home in 17th with Reeves 18th. Tyler Jordan, not what he needed today, comes home in 19th. He will not make the chase. Keith McHugh, what could have been, looked set for a top 5, but a horror show down pit road. At least he was basically already locked into the championship chase. So, doesn't matter in the end for him, but what could have been for him, our pole sitter. Camilla Lindbergh comes home 21st, Logan Wilkie 22nd, Kenny Dixon 23rd, Mitchell Moser 24th, Austin Rhodes 25th. Of course, going to a better team next season, but what a regular season he's had anyway. He will be remembered even if he did not make the championship chase. Danny McSwain 26th, Joseph Clark 27th, Johan Stromstad in the lapped car 28th, Melanie Alskeni also lapped 29th, Bobby Elliott 30th, Carl Ellison 31st, Eric Lehman 32nd, Kurt Weiss 33rd with his coolant issue, and Ken Hale with a flat tyre early on comes home in 34th. Well, what a race. If you had to pick your who do you think performed the best today?
Definitely William Starman. I think it's pretty clear for me. Starman, absolutely. As much as the cameras were always focused on him being at the front, but he led the most laps. He had this race under control for a lot of it, and he had the pace. Even when he lost the lead to Andrew Mondragon, he stayed composed and made that brilliant move on the final lap of the race. So I have to give it to William Starman.
I think he's probably going to be the popular choice for that one today. I would like to also say well done to Michael Teller. Brilliant recovery to come back to 7th for him. But I do think Starman and Mondragon were in a league of their own today, pretty much. Maybe if Teller had a better qualifying, it could have been a 3-way fight for the lead. But we'll never know on that front. But what a race. Either way, that is the regular season closed. Eva Valjak wins the regular season championship. Can she take the actual title within the next 6 races? Well, we'll find out next time as we head into this 6-race stretch starting at Martinsville. We'll see you then. Thank you for watching and goodbye.